So I would put all of my weaving materials in the basket, and then I could use the side of the basket to prop up the lap loom so I could work on it. Hello, it's Jen from Windrose Fiber Studio. It has been such a long time since I just kind of sat around, did some weaving, and chatted with you a little bit. And so I wanted to do that tonight. It's the Studio After Dark episode. I'm in my studio in the evening. I usually only film during, with natural daylight. Although I will say that the lighting in this workroom is really good. So hopefully you can see reasonably well. I am not actually in the mood to work on this shoulder strap for the bag I've been working on. I just wanted to bring it out so you can see that it still exists and I haven't forgotten about it. So this is the macrame embellished crossbody bag, and this is the shoulder strap for that bag. And if you've seen any of my Weaving Wednesday, you've seen me working on that tediously for a really long time. And I need about double what I have here. And for the size, for a crossbody bag, now I've only got this much of my hand spun yarn left. So the length of this strap might very much be determined by how much yarn I have. Either that, or if I don't like how this strap turns out, I will just have to pivot and come up with a new plan. So here's the bag. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me kind of hold it up for you. Here's the bag. Here is the little macrame embellishment that's going to get attached to it. So this is the work in progress. And it's still happening. So I just wanted to share that with you. But now I'm going to put this project away and start a new project, because that's just what I tend to do. Before I completely finish one project, I start another project. Is anyone else guilty of that as well? I hope I'm not alone. Okay. So give me a second and I'm going to kind of swap things up here. Okay, I'm back. I switched out my tripod. I'm hoping this one will work a little bit better. So I'm sitting here on the floor. Hello. I keep sitting on the floor lately. One of the reasons I was so happy to finally get a nice studio was so that I could actually work at tables and things and not always be spread out on the floor. And now I find myself sitting cross-legged on the floor all the time because it's just kind of how I'm used to working. So, and especially when it comes to weaving. So this is a basket I've had forever. And I love it when I'm working with something like a simple frame loom. I used to take this basket with me everywhere I went, especially when my kids were younger and they had activities. So I would put all of my weaving materials in the basket, and then I could use the side of the basket to prop up the lap loom so I could work on it. So this is my weaving basket, and this weaving basket and I go way back. And what I want to do is I want to just warp this loom. So this is a simple frame loom. I'm going to move the basket here for a second. This is a very simple frame loom. It is about a total of 18 inches. I've marked like the center point. So if I make a piece of fabric and fold it in half to make a bag, that bag will be 9 inches deep. It can be as much as 12 inches across. But often, I don't want the bag to be wider at the top than it is deep. I might make something a little more narrow. And I just find it really satisfying to work on such a simple loom like this. And what I want to do is I want to warp this and just do a straight back and forth weave of this crazy fiber. So this is Bernat Sheepy. And I bought several skeins of this. I don't even know if they still make it because I feel like every time I buy something, it disappears. But I bought this thinking it might be a good fit for the teddy bear crossbody I made last year. Here is that crossbody bag. And so I was looking, let me put it where you can see it. Here's the teddy bear crossbody bag. And so I was looking for like a soft, fluffy fiber to make this bag out of. And so I thought maybe this Bernat Sheepy would be perfect, but it was just too bulky. And it really is like a super bulky yarn. So when I first got into weaving, part of what got me into weaving was being in Seattle, and I was at a marketplace and there was a young woman selling hand-woven bags, and I just got this overwhelming sense that I wanted to do what she was doing. And it was just like one of those moments of clarity. And it's like, I want to do what she's doing. I want to weave bags. And the bag I bought from her, it wasn't even like a spectacular bag. There's like lots of weird noises. So it wasn't even a spectacular bag, but there was just something about it that I loved. And it was woven from fiber that was kind of like this, and I'll have to go dig that bag up and show it to you because I'm going to kind of make a bag inspired by that one. So the idea is just to plainly weave a piece of fabric made from this really thick Bernat Sheepy, and that should go pretty fast actually. And then something I want to get into is card weaving on the ankle loom. So I'm doing that band on the ankle loom, but I want to do card weaving. Oops, I'm holding this upside down. So this is the pattern that I hope to recreate. And what I want to do is I basically want to make kind of a lace from different lighter weight threads. So I have some choices here. And I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use yet, but I'm going to weave a lace, weave like, I'm not sure, what to call it. Like this will be something, it'll be wider than a shoelace. It'll be kind of a ribbon, a woven ribbon. And then I want to use this woven ribbon to add accents to a bag that I make out of this Bernat Sheepy. So, and actually I probably have a Peruvian bag around here, so I can show you a little bit more of what I mean by that. Oh wait, I brought it out here. So this isn't the world's greatest example, but so you can see this Peruvian bag, it's just kind of a straight weave, big blocks of color, but then around the top of it, it has this wonderful detail woven strapping or ribbon work. And I've just always loved that look. So I think it'd be really cool to weave something really intricate and detailed like that, and then inset it or sew it into a bag like this that has all this texture. So that's the idea that I have. That's kind of what I want to get started working on. And I just think it would be fun. So I'm going to sit here and maybe work on that a little bit. I brought myself treats tonight. This is actually non-alcoholic. This is from Trader Joe's, and it's a lemon radler. It almost reminds me of drinking kombucha. I'm not against drinking actual beer, but I am driving myself home later, so this is much more responsible. And because I always need like a little chocolate in my life, I have exactly 2 of Trader Joe's little peanut butter cups. And so these are my treats for tonight. And I think I'm going to dive in and just kind of start warping this little loom and see if I can get my camera. Oh, here's the cards. Here's my cards for card weaving, and there is a woman who has really good tutorials, and I'm going to follow her tutorials, and when I really get into that part of it, I will share more of that information with you. I think I'm going to use one of my own oversized tatting needles. as my weaving needle because it's nice and long. It's 12 inches long. So that'll be kind of a, and it's got a really large eye. So I'll be able to thread that thick yarn in there and use that for my weaving. I've also got a nice little shed here that I'll probably use. I have a ruler because I always have a ruler. And I think that's maybe all I need. But when I first started weaving, I wove on frame looms like this almost exclusively. And part of the reason for that is simply because they were really portable. So I could take them around with me everywhere I went. And they were also smaller projects. I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. I don't have this warp crazy tight, and that's sort of intentional. That feels good to me, so I'm going to leave it just like that. And I'm just going to tie this off. I don't want to work with too much yarn all at once. I don't mind having some yarn to weave in at the end. I think this is going to be fine. So using my body to measure, my extended arm to just inside my right shoulder is a yard. So I'm kind of measuring out 5 or 6 yards. And now I'm going to take my oversized tatting needle. I have these all finished. I finally finished dulling the tips and making the packaging for all of my oversized tatting needles. But I have not listed them in my shop yet because I haven't gotten around to taking product pictures of them yet. But as soon as I do that, and then I can maybe share a project with you, and I think that'll be fun too. I have to say, so I took kind of a break. For over a year, I put out a crochet tutorial, a start to finish crochet tutorial every single week. And I really wanted to do that partly to take all of my patterns and turn them into video form. And I was also, in all honesty, kind of curious to see what would happen if I was that consistent with YouTube and shared regularly. And, I just kind of wanted to see what would happen with my channel. But, now that, and I told myself after a year, I wouldn't keep grinding in the same way because, that's not really sustainable anyway. So I'm going to kind of put this other thread back through in the other direction a few threads just so it'll get woven, it'll get lost in the fabric here. I guess you can't really see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I'm just getting it started. Here we go. Let me adjust this again so you can, whoa, not that way. Maybe this way. Yeah, okay. There we go. Adjust that. See, I'm just like always sitting on the floor. So anyway, now that the year is up, I really want to shift my focus a little bit. I still have a few crochet patterns left, that I want to turn into videos. I probably have more than a few. And so I will keep making my crochet tutorials, but I'm kind of excited to work on new things because, all the crochet tutorials, or almost all of them, were things I designed a long time ago. And while it was fun to go back and revisit some of those patterns and even update some of those patterns, it's even more fun to come up with new ideas and design new things. So I'm really kind of excited to create the space for myself to design. And I also want to play with all the fiber arts I love. I want to get back into spending time at my spinning wheel, weave things, dye things. I want to do all of the things. So I think what's going to happen with my posting on YouTube is I'll probably still be posting every week, but sometimes it might be me talking about a design I'm working on, or it might be me, working on a work in progress like this weaving, and or it might be a start to finish crochet tutorial. So I just kind of want to spend all of my time being creative and let that lead the way, whatever wherever the muse takes me, kind of thing. So I am just going to do a few more rows and call it a night. And like I said before, it's been so long since I've just sat down and done a little weaving. And weaving is generally when I hang out and just chat about random things. And I really did want the opportunity to let you know, if you're someone who has been watching my channel, that I'm still going to be posting regularly, but the content that I'm making won't be all start to finish crochet tutorials. It will just be more varied. Just look at this. Okay, I want to make sure you can see it. Am I holding it up? Well, look at that. It's it's almost like shag carpet or something. It's going to be really cool. Anyway, I'm just happy to be back from my spring break. Happy to be back sharing with you. It's fun to start a new project because I love starting a new project. And I will finish this one. Look at this poor, neglected project. I will finish it, I promise. And I think it's going to be cool. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Cheers to you with my non-alcoholic lemon rodler. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, and I'll see you next time.